YouTube, what is going on? It is your boy Keezy. It ain't easy being Keezy, and I'm heading over to the East Bay right now because I'm meeting up with Q and Christian and maybe somebody else. More importantly, the topic of this video today is about how to start and/or like how to manifest a sneaker event. I've had this question for quite some time because I've been into sneakers and just like streetwear, and I've always just kind of wondered, like, how do you put together an event, and not only put together an event, but a successful event. There's a big difference between throwing an event and a successful event. And Q and Christian, and I believe, you know, many others, or 4 or 5 other people, have put together the event called UNDS or UNDS. They do have an Instagram, which I will link right here. So last year was their first event. Turned out really well. I think like 300 something people showed up, which is, that's a lot of people, okay? Especially for the first event. Numbers say a lot. Oh, I also have their flyer right here, kind of like a retro card. So what we're doing today is that I'm gonna go down there and I'm gonna meet up with them. I'm gonna chop it up with them and ask some questions, many questions as I can, because I've always just wondered on exactly how people, you know, manifest this. How do you do the marketing? How do you get people to come out? How do you get people excited? Like, what is the difference between what they're doing compared to any other sneaker event or whatever? Let's just head down there now. Let's go meet up with them and see how this goes. Good. I didn't want to intro it. Anyways, I'm out here in Hayward and I got Q with me, Christian, and if you guys want to introduce yourself to Enoch and Michael, okay.
What's up?
And we have this super extra professional spot that we got here right now. But we had to make do with what we got because we're doing this before the event. So we're gonna go through a series of questions. I have a lot of questions for them. We're gonna go through as much as we can, and then you guys are about to enjoy the footage. So here we go. First question is, how did this whole thing start? Like, whose idea was this to begin with? I think I know already, but just for the people that are watching this video, like, who started it all, and like, where did the idea just like basically come from?
Yeah, so basically, I didn't have a job for 3 or 4 months. I decided, hey, let's go fucking do something. I've always loved sneakers. I went to Dunk Exchange, Sneakercons, all these events, and I realized that why not throw our own? We have the not fan base, but like we have the community, we have the resources, and we have, like, you know, just good personalities to throw this stuff. So to begin, it was just me and Enoch. Enoch hit me on Instagram and told me, hey, dude, I had this crazy idea, and you know, let's throw a sneaker event. And he's like, I'm like, okay, well, the good person that I am, you know. The good person that I am, I basically blessed him a little bit, but because he had, I mean, he was just coming back into the sneaker game and like not really like knowing a lot of people, and I think through this experience, he's gotten to know a lot of people, and I think he's one of like the UNDS, you know, founding fathers, I guess.
I'll be on the Mount Rushmore. No, but yeah, like I graduated, and obviously, like as we were talking about in college, I didn't have any money, so I got out of the sneaker game.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
And then, you know, got out of the sneaker game, came back in, and yeah, like you said, I didn't really like know too many people that were like in it. I only knew him just because we were homies in middle school, and I just kept following him on Instagram. I came up with I thought of the idea, and then I hit up Q, and Q was like, well, I'm already kind of doing it. And so it was at that point I was just like, you know, I hope he puts me on, like, you know, takes me on just to help him out, and things pulled through. And then we got Michael along with the IT, you know, help build our website, and then we got Christian to come through because you know, he has good connections and PR skills too. So it was just weird. We all went to school together.
And it's we're missing Axel right now.
Yeah,
Axel. He's a big part of like the donations, and what he does is basically he sets all the donations up. He runs his own Instagram feed where he sells and buys shoes as well. So it's, you know, we're just a collective group of people that wanted to bring the sneaker community together and actually, you know, like give back to y'all, because at the end of the day, these sneakers that we're wearing, or this style, this fashion, we all learn something from it. We all taking from it, and it's, you know, it's a great thing to give back. You know what I'm saying. I think that was my main thing with creating something like this. Was I wasn't expecting to make any money. I wasn't expecting to you know, make this a big thing. I wanted to give back so that, you know, people can experience what I experienced and take away what I took away from it, you know. I mean, I don't know how these guys feel about it, but I've explained it to them plenty of times.
It's in a nutshell.
It's like this event. I'm giving out T-shirts for donations. We're giving away so many things just to give back to the people. Where if you come, you damn near get a T-shirt.
Yeah.
You just donate a pair of shoes, or just attend to experience this sneaker community. You know what I mean?
It's pretty much like a way for everybody to, and the motto that we came up with is bridge the connections, bridge the community. And the culture has always been a big part of our life, especially for Q, for the culture. But pretty much it's just having that ability of people of different walks of life, whether it's sneakers, clothing, music, anything like that. We have a whole bunch of vendors that are coming together to just connect and building those connections, because a lot of people don't know, like, oh, this person does this, like, how can I learn from them? And that's something that we want to teach as a collective to the community, just because of how the society of how the sneaker culture and community is now. It's completely different from what it was when we first started, but to bring back that energy, it's something that we want to give back to the community.
So this is this being the second event, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how, for those who don't know and are not even from here, how did the first one go? And like leading up to it, did you guys expect it to go the way it went?
I mean,
it was great.
Granted, Michael can't speak for
It was
it.
great.
Yeah.
No, it was great.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he wasn't part of it yet, or we didn't
great.
tell. His brother came, actually, his little brother.
His
We
brother,
should
my
have
brother
put
took
him
my
on.
ticket, yeah.
So, when I first opened up ticket sales, we generally didn't have a lot of ticket sales. We went with maybe, I think, the last week that the tickets were out, we sold 100 and some tickets that last week, which was insane to me, because I didn't think anyone was going to buy tickets for an event that just popped off out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So as we get towards the event and we get to the day it comes, I'm panicking, I'm running around, because it's generally just me doing everything at this point until I brought these guys along with me. But the expectation, it went over my expectations, let's put it that way.
Yeah,
I didn't think
me
that
too.
the building was going to be filled. I didn't think it was going to go as smoothly as that it did. Apparently these guys were telling me that it went really well, when in my head I'm over here panicking and trying to figure out what the hell's coming next. And glad this time around we have an itinerary where we're going to know what we're doing at each time. And I mean, it was a good experience for me to have that first event by myself, to know what we can be better at the next one. So it went over expectations for sure.
Okay. Now, the part where you're panicking right now, because I'm making this video in relations to other people that don't live in the Bay, or maybe they live in the Bay and they want to start something like this where they live, right? And how can they do that? But the part where you panic, where does that come from, and why was it that, because almost if you're someone famous, if you start an event, obviously people are going to show up, right? Now, what part of it, I guess, worked for you, right? At the end of it, your, I guess, resolution or what have you, your conclusion was that a lot of people showed up. Well, what do you think was the reason a lot of people showed up?
I mean, like I said before, it's really just the support. I mean, the support you have. I'm not famous or anything, but you do grab a lot of people from the community once you speak to people or meet up with people. Like this encounter that we have right now with you.
Yeah.
It's something to network off of. Say, oh yeah, I know Kurt, or I know Christian, or I know Mike, I know Enoch. So we build off these connections, and right now, I feel like my big bro Grincho told us. He was telling me basically at his events, the spots that you guys take are networking opportunities.
Sure.
So all these things that I've been to that involve sneakers, clothing, fashion, whatever it may be, we're always connecting with people and networking with people. I think the network that I've built within sneakers and fashion just showed who I was as a person, and so that people will support me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
So go ahead.
oh, to put it in a nutshell, pretty much I knew who he was before we even started this, and before we even got into even vending, because I met him through Sneakercon, Duck Exchange, and he has this presence. It's like the rapport that he builds with everybody he meets. He knows how to connect with them, knows how to network with them, and that's came with us because they've known each other for years. I've only known Q for maybe about 4 years now, and the fact that you're able to build a strong friendship, and it's the same thing with also Axel. Axel, we've known him for a while, and the fact that we able to come together, it's like building that rapport because people will support you, and that's one thing I feel like Q does especially well, and that's what we have done as a group. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I know I didn't have a chance to go to the first one. I missed it. I think I got the flyer or something like that like a week after that event happened. So I was like, oh damn. But I know you guys have a different format.
Yeah.
In fact, this is probably the first, right? As far as doing the whole bidding thing, right?
No,
It's not?
We did the auction thing the first time.
Oh no, I'm
Yeah.
saying, but Undead Stock is the first event to do this in
mean,
general. I don't think
Granted,
there's another.
I haven't seen anyone that
Yeah.
did it before. So
That was the one thing that that was the one thing that surprised me that I felt was going to be the most like strenuous, and it kind of was. That's why we were nervous, but it worked out in the end because a lot of people stayed for the event, for the opportunity. You know, unions were going up starting like 99 cents, you know, and you know, Chicago ones were starting like, I don't know, like $50, and it was just going up and up from there, and it just shows that like people really wanted like that part of the venue. And so that's why we're going to do it again, and we try to make it a little bit bigger. And like Quinlan said, like the whole point is just to unite the community. Like we have a bunch of businesses there that maybe on a regular day they probably wouldn't interact with each other, but they're all going to get to do it at our event because there's going to be a bunch of people there just because like they love the stuff we do. And then we have a lot of free stuff. You know, we're doing the donation bin too, and so we try to add on top of what was working.
Well, I'm pretty sure a lot of people that are going to watch this probably don't know what we're talking about. Explain really fast what your guys' different format is, like the whole bidding process. Like, because I think when people think of sneaker events, they think of consignment, like
They
literally
think of
consignment.
buy,
They think of
sell, trade.
Sneakercon. Like when you
trade.
go there, buy, sell, trade. That's pretty much it. You might see some rare sneakers that you'll never afford, and then you walk out of there. Maybe some movie stars or whatever, right?
So
or Instagram famous people.
Yeah, I think the format that we have is to interact with the people. What I made these guys do was introduce themselves on our Instagram, just so that everyone knows who we are and they can ask us for help or whatever support they need. At the event, we want to interact as much as we can. So I had Enoch actually at the first event talk to every vendor that we had, just to get acquainted with them or just to learn more about them and what they do. But I feel like a lot of these sneaker events is just they put it up. They do it for the money, or like they don't really interact. I don't know anyone from Sneakercon.
Yeah, no.
I mean, Dunk Exchange, it was, you know, I knew people
Yeah.
there, but at the same time, like that's what I kind of based us off of, is with Dunk Exchange, with how they interact with people, how I interact with people, is that I can actually talk to them and be like, hey, you want this shoe, you want this bid, this money, okay, boom, you got the bet, you got the bet, you got the bet. So it's more of an interaction thing where we're building each other as a community and interacting with each other, because I've been to Sneakercon and I wouldn't know the person across from me at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like we've all been there before where it's like, we all been in that spot where it's like, hey, we're in this position and we don't know that person over there. Or like, I want everyone to connect. That's
true.
why our venue is a small, tight, niche, like, you know.
I think it's about creating like an authentic
It's more
experience.
intimate,
Right.
I think.
It's
you know?
more, what's that word? Organic?
A genuine, authentic
Yeah,
experience.
it's more
But,
authentic, I think.
I think that helps us out a lot with the auction because, you know, we're trying to, because a lot of people, like you just said, go to these sneaker events. We do have buy, sell, trade. You can do that there. But like the thing about the auction is to give the opportunity for someone that might not have the chance to buy, you know, a pair of rare shoes, just because like the sellers are always going to have the highest price. And, you know, for us, we have our sponsors and we have our, you know, the shoes that we come up together, and we're not trying to make a profit at the end of the day. So, you know, you can get a really good steal, and usually it does happen. And, you know, and that's why people stay there, because it's just that chance that they can get something for less than, you know, and not feel like they got fucked over.
Right.
And
Do you feel as if Undead, I know this is just the beginning, obviously this is only being the second event, do you guys see Undead Stock being something like Sneakercon one day, right? Because there's a big difference between something like Hella Kicks and then then Sneakercon being like this huge, you know, company.
Of course.
Or I guess company at this point.
I mean,
Yeah.
granted, I think...
have you
isn't
ever
that-
thought of that?
I mean, yeah, of course, but I mean, right now, I think we're more focused on now. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
want to make everything... I mean, of course, it's going to be in the back of my head. I want to be as big as Sneakercon one day. But as of right now, I'm focused on now, what we can do now to make everyone's experience that comes
Yeah.
to our events
Right.
amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
We
saying?
have to build off of each
Yeah,
event to
exactly.
get to Sneakercon.
So, I mean, right now we're focusing on this event. to think of the future, you know, I didn't even think it was going to be an UNDS 2, you know, after the first event. Well, I mean, not after the first event, but during the first event. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know. I'm just more focused on what I'm working with now because
it could have bombed, dude. It could have been real bad.
It could have been bad. It could have been horrible. But
you know,
it turned out how it turned out, and now we're having the second one. And the reason we're having the second one at the same spot is because we want to solidify what we're doing, to make sure that we're doing something right, or we're doing what we need to do to, you know, just give everyone a great experience. I mean, I don't know what you guys think about that, but
I agree.
And then after this event, we'll definitely be looking for a little bit more of a bigger spot for sure.
Expanding.
It's kind of like one of those things where it happened the first time and it was really good. So if we got a bigger spot and something, you know, didn't go as right or didn't look as filled, like we wanted to make sure we tested the theory and, you know, that it works. And yeah, hopefully with this event, you know, it's going to prove it. And then like Q said, like we're probably going to move up to a bigger spot. But I'm really happy that we're like in the Bay. You know, that's that. I feel like when it comes to fashion, sneakers, anything, I think the Bay is underlooked. You know, everybody just thinks about LA or New York.
People forget SF.
So, you know, there's a big community out here, and that's why like Q, like, you know, he has Q, you know, he has like the audience. I mean, he has like the followers. He's built a rapport, and you know, it's just good that, you know, we can unite everybody.
So, last couple questions. Oh, thank you. The light came back on. So, for those who want to start something like this in the future, a big question is where does the money come? Or not where does the money come from, but how much money do you think you need? And I don't know how much you guys spend, or if you guys want to give that information out. But how much money should somebody have? I mean,
classified.
And also, like, what else would they need? Because I had a couple people.
Well, I just money and other things, but like, if you were to give some kind of dollar amount or a fixated dollar amount to suggest to someone, oh, you're going to need this X amount of money in order to do something like this, especially at the caliber that we did it at. How much do you guys think?
I'm just giving out the whole game plan.
I mean,
I think at the end of the day, it depends on the location, right? Depends on where you're at. Like, you have to look at that. But I think what's really important is what Q was talking, like how he even thought about this. Like he just thought about it, and within 5 seconds he did an action, and he called the venue, and it worked out. Like a lot of people don't even do that first step, and you know, that's why when I asked Q and he was like, I already got things going. That's why I felt even better like kicking it with him. And
I mean, with the money situation, it wasn't really that we didn't have money, and like if you want to start something like this, you really just have to go do it. I mean, we always have these thoughts, these ideas that come to like in our head, and we don't action upon them. We either like our mind will tell us, oh no, hey, let's not fucking do it anyway. Like forget it, I'm not gonna do it. So I think I learned. So when I quit my job, my boy called me and hit me, told me about this 5-second rule that he was talking about. What the 5-second rule is basically saying is if you have an idea come up within 5 seconds, try to action on it beforehand, because if you don't action on it, your mind is going to make up excuses to push it to the side or not do it. So as soon as he told me about it and that idea came up to my head, I was like, you know what, like he said, call the venue. Let's get the venue going. Let's see how much it costs. And going back on how much to get this shit rolling, it's I mean, I spent my last paycheck on it, so I mean It's a lot of money, but it really depends. It really depends how much you're willing to put up. I think it's a big gamble, in my opinion. The gamble is, I thought the gamble was worth it. I mean, but at the end of the day, you do have to have some type of capital. You do have to have some type of following to answer your next question. Is the PR, the support system. Granted, if it wasn't for who I knew, the connections that I had, or the people that I like that supported who I was and what I was doing, there would be no UNDS. There wouldn't be a team like you right here sitting interviewing with you right now. It wouldn't be where like anything at all. So I think the biggest thing for me is support. Is if you don't have that support, if you don't have that community sense of people like growing together, then you're not gonna grow.
Last question. So, is there any like type of advice you would give to somebody that, like, just last minute advice that you would give to somebody trying to do what you guys?
I think don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Don't be afraid to fail, because if you let that thought entertain your mind, you're not going to go through with it. So don't go do it. Just do it.
Just like he said, don't be afraid to fail, because when you fail, you learn from your mistakes, right? I feel like the biggest thing for us was just support. Like I said, support. I think you really just need the support from everyone.
Yeah.
Especially from your peers, the community, and he hit the spot with the don't fail. Don't expect to fail. You know what I'm saying? Just have some positive vibes to yourself, and
even if you do fail, that's okay. Don't be afraid to. You can, and that's totally fine. Just
don't give up.
Take it as a learning experience, right? Yeah, don't scrap it. Go from there, regroup, see what worked, see what didn't, go on to the next experience.
I think that's with a lot of just brands.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that do these things where it's like they have their creative ideas and they want to do all these creative things, but at the end of the day they can't, because they either give up or they don't believe they can do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As to I'm a victim of that, because I did YouTube and we both did YouTube and we quit. You know what I'm
We
saying?
just got super busy.
We just got super busy. I just didn't believe in what my content was good enough. We're like, etc.
I didn't watch it.
You know what I mean?
But I think also it comes down to who you surround yourself with. Any type of business, you're gonna start it with people that you trust. You're gonna start with people that you know and people that something brings to the table, right? So I think it's just building that rapport overall is another thing, because at the end of the day, you won't get there by yourself. But at the same time, if you have people who support you and people are willing to go the distance with you, then that's also going to be help. So it's the same thing, build those connections.
I was just gonna say that, just don't let money keep you from doing what you want to do, just because sometimes it's better just to put in work and just ask to help out, just do anything just to be there, and then all they said is going to fall into place. You build connections, and when you build connections and you have real friends in the game, you're not afraid to fail. And even if you do fail, the worst that can happen is something shitty happen and you just go home and that's it. It's going to be up to you at the end of the day if you're going to allow that to affect you.
Great.
Yeah,
Do it for you.
I think for you, Kurt, I believe you do YouTube because you're fashion. You know what I'm saying? You want to put it out there where it's you're giving tips or you're doing whatever you need to do just because you like doing it. It's fun. I'm saying interviewing people like us or interviewing different types of people just builds rapport, and it's actually fun. You know what I'm saying? Doing podcasts is fun. Or doing all these things, just talking about what we can talk about, because people understand what we're talking about. I can talk about his shoes or his pants or his shirt and be totally fine talking to him and have confidence in talking about it, and just learning from each other. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's big too, just having fun doing it. Because this is a fun experience.
Fun guys, dude.
It is fun, guys.
Holding these events and doing all these meetings that we have, we go talk shit. We talk about our weeks. It's not just about the meeting. It's more of the group social, I guess.
Building that bond.
Yeah, that bond.
Any last words, shout outs?
Shout out for Kurt for interviewing us.
Shout out
Sure.
Keezy for waiting with us
Follow him.
at Target.
Yeah, appreciate you a lot for the
driving out here.
The people that are gonna be watching this. Hey, if anything, come to our event. It's this Saturday, August 17th. Come say hi to us. We're not that
San
scary.
Leandro.
Yeah.
If you do end up needing help or want to start something like this, feel free to hit one of us up. He probably will put our Instagrams up or a link or email us at undesstockevents@gmail.com. We answer that frequently as much as we can. But yeah, don't be afraid to hit us. We're really nice guys. We're all, like one of my boys, Jose, says, I'm a positive mogul or whatever. I don't know what he means.
Oh.
Influential figure, public figure on
Please,
Instagram.
comment, and subscribe.
Yeah.
I always want to do that. Yes. I always want to do a send-off.
Comment, subscribe. Yeah. Check out his other videos. There's some really dope videos.
Check out his other videos.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
It's all good.
Yeah, now it's time to talk some more shit.
Hell yeah.
All right. Let's get out of the studio.